girl. What is up, guys? My name is Jackson. Welcome to a video. This video is a broken rant, another one. I've done 2 of these. This is my 3rd. Hey, it's free real estate. So probably wonder what this broken rant's about. I'll tell you what this is about. This is a rant on the DCEU. Completely original, trust me. No one has done this before. No one is upset at the way DC is handling their movies at all. Except for everyone who's a fan of DC. And by everyone, I mean like a good 90%. I'm sure there's some people who like the DC movie, but if you do, you're stupid! Anyways, so with the release of Infinity War, it has made me realize how dumb DC is. DC is just stupid. And it's weird to think about that. Because I mean, think back to the 80s and the 70s when Superman and Batman was the Superman and Batman was the best thing in the world. I mean, come on, DC ruled. I mean, Marvel is putting out like the 70s Spider-Man and the Captain America movie that came out like 1990. I mean, you can look at what Marvel was doing at the time and what DC was doing, and it's weird to think about. There was one time when Marvel was what DC is now. Marvel was just and I think DC pretty much ruled the comic book, really the comic book world, up until the Marvel Cinematic Universe started. And this is coming from someone. I actually really like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, because I know a lot of people don't. They don't like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I've always liked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I thought Tobey Maguire made a pretty good Spider-Man. He made a good Peter Parker. Well, I forgot what I was ranting about. I legitimately just forgot everything that I was ranting about. Okay, here's what I'll say. DC was the king of comic movies up until the Marvel Cinematic Universe started, in my opinion. Even though I think the first 2 Spider movies were good, I really love the old X-Men movies as much as the newer ones, which is kind of weird to say. I don't mind X-Men and X-Men 2, although I will agree with everyone that Hugh Jackman is the perfect Wolverine. But I've never been a huge X-Men fan to begin with, so I don't know. I'm not as into those movies. Now, the reason that DC has obviously failed in their new launch, because they need to copy what Marvel's doing with their Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that when DC launched their extended universe, the thing is, DC is trying so hard to be the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as all these other things are. You have the Monsterverse with Godzilla and King Kong. Now you have I don't know if they're still doing the Dark Universe, which was going to be like the Mummy, Frankenstein. Look at what Marvel did whenever they started their Marvel Cinematic Universe. They released Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Captain America, the first Avenger, Thor, and then they did the Avengers. That's 6 movies, or 5 movies before they did the Avengers. And it was 5 movies that were dedicated to each individual character. You had a Thor movie, you had a Captain America movie, 2 Iron Man movies, but technically I would say it's like 1.5 Iron Man movie, and then the other one's just like a prequel to the Avengers. It's really just a setup for the Avengers movie. And then you had the Incredible Hulk. And so when the Avengers started, you had all 5 characters that already had movies prior. They already had backstories. You already understood the characters more. So that when the movie kicked off, you didn't have to try and set these characters up as much. Because even though they had Hawkeye and Black Widow, which weren't even introduced in this movie either. Hawkeye was introduced in Thor, and then Black Widow was in Iron Man 2. You already cared for him. You didn't have to have as much character development, I guess, for them. And that's why the Avengers was a really good movie. So that's how Marvel set up the Avengers. So how did DC set up the Justice League? How did the DC set up the Justice League, Jackson? I will tell you how the DC Universe, DCEU. I will tell you how the DCEU set up the universe. Just leave this all out of the video, Jackson. Future Jackson who's watching this video. It's so weird. I can talk to other versions of myself. Future Jackson, right Jackson, left Jackson. This is how they make Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League. They made 3 movies before they made Justice League. We doesn't seem like that much. We had Man of Steel, Superman movie, Man of Steel 2, which was then renamed Batman vs Superman for no reason, because even the Batman vs Superman fight was so stupid. That movie sucked. Even the stupid extended edition with all the extra footage and stuff that made it like 3.5 hours, it still sucked. And it shouldn't have been done now. They should have waited for the end of the DCU to do that. It's so stupid. Now it's like they're talking about making a Flash movie, and they're going to start with Flashpoint, which makes no sense. If they make... Okay, I can rant about that right now. You make Man of Steel, which is a Superman movie. The next movie you make is essentially Man of Steel 2 with Batman in it. And then the third movie you make is Wonder Woman. So you're essentially just making 2 movies. You're making a Superman movie, 2 Superman movies, and then a Wonder Woman movie. One of the Superman movies happens to star Batman. That's your setup. So when the actual Justice League kicks off, we got the Flash and Cyborg just kind of thrown in there. They don't need any setup. They don't need any movies. There you go. Okay. Oh, and Aquaman too. Oh, I forgot about Aquaman. So it's like you got Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash. Oh my god! I literally just fell on my channel. Why did the Justice League happen? Justice League was such a pointless movie. It was. Was the Justice League necessary? Tell me, was it necessary? It takes place in like Russia, is with the final battle. Why did the Justice League need to come out right now? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because Marvel's Cinematic Universe was killing DC, and DC had to do something fast. So it's like, boom, Justice League. But there's nothing to it. It's just like, boom, there's some characters. And now we're getting the movies. Aquaman's coming out. I think Aquaman looks decent. I'm not that excited about it, but I'm just not excited about DC EU at all. I think they should just end it and then restart, because I just don't like the direction they're going with, really, in anything. Because, I mean, look at the state of it now. Ben Affleck's supposedly leaving the DCU, so now one of your main characters in Batman. That's the same thing as like saying in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is after 2 movies, Chris Evans was just like, all right, peace, and left the series. And you're like, what are you gonna do to replace him? He's like the main guy. It's like him and Iron Man are like the 2 main characters. It's like in the DC Extended Universe, it's Superman and Batman. And if you have your Batman actor leave, then what are you left with? It's a messed up. So now you have the Flash movie special coming out, and they're gonna start the Flash with Flashpoint. To any DC fan who knows what I'm talking about, you're like, how? You kind of need to establish Flash before you try and do a Flashpoint series or a Flashpoint movie. Why do they want to do the Flashpoint? Makes no sense. No sense. Why are you doing the Flash point? You need to make a Flash movie before you make Flashpoint. Make Flashpoint the third. Essentially, Flashpoint should be like way later in the series. But they're probably, even if they don't do Flashpoint as the first movie, they're going to do it as the second movie anyway. So it's like, oh, there's a movie as Flash. Okay, Flashpoint. It's the same thing as if Marvel started out and they're like, okay, there's Iron Man, then we make Captain America, and then we make the Avengers, then we make Civil War. And then it's like, the reason the Marvel Cinematic Universe works is because they're doing movies constantly, and each movie is its own movie for the most part. There's exceptions where movies aren't, and they kind of bridge the gap, and they're too reliant on other characters and setting up. But for the most part, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, each movie is its own. Like, you can watch Doctor Strange and be like, yeah, that's a Doctor Strange movie. It didn't need Iron Man, or it didn't need all these characters. Sometimes there's cameos from other characters, but it's still a movie. You can watch Ant-Man and be like, yeah, that's Ant-Man. You don't need Spider-Man. You don't need Iron Man thrown in there to make it a movie. That's Ant-Man. DC is not its own universe. It's like it's trying to bridge all these characters together, and you're like, why are you moving so fast? It's like they're making Justice League. Now they're making Justice League Part 2. Justice League Part 2 is in the works. It's like, oh my gosh, why is Justice League Part 2 in the works? Justice League Part 2 shouldn't be out yet. And essentially they need to wait for like 8 years before they make a Part 2 of Justice League. I think DC they moved way too fast, and it messed everything up. They should just do a hard reset. They're not going to do that though. And to their credit, Shazam looked really cool. I'm excited about Shazam. If anything, I'm excited about Shazam. But I think the reason I'm excited about Shazam is because Shazam looks like it's breaking away from DC's really overly dark tone, which has messed everything up completely, in my opinion. I hate this idea that DC has to make everything so incredibly dark. Like this new Titans series that's coming out that looks horrible. What did they do to the Teen Titans? Robin said F Batman. Starfire's not black. Hey, if you want to make a white actress black, I don't care. Just leave things as they are. You don't need to make characters girls. You don't need to make girl characters guys. You don't need to make guy characters girls. You don't need to make black actresses white actresses. You don't need to try and culturally appropriate and change stuff, because sometimes things were fine. I understand the reason to do that in some cases, but for movies like Teen Titans, it was fine. Trust me. You're also alienating the entire Teen Titans fan base. For the most part, you think that fans of the Teen Titans series, or even the new Teen Titans Go, which to each his own, are going to want to see that? That makes no sense. I'm sorry, DC. You're stupid. It's like, I would love to see a DC EU with Under the Red Hood, The Death and Return of Superman, Flashpoint, what's the other one? The Dark Knight Returns. Like, all my favorite DC stories. I would love to see an extended universe with those, but space them out. If you tried to give that stuff to the people that have DC, they'd be like, okay, we'll make those 4 movies and we'll do them right away. They did the Death and Return of Superman, the second movie. Are you serious? Oh my god, I can write about this stuff all day. I'm not going to though. I'm going to close this video off. All I gotta say is DC has dug themselves to a big hole, and not even Shazam can dig it out. Even though Shazam looked really good. They're going to need some stellar movies, and they're going to need them really fast. And they do not need to make Flashpoint. For the love of God, don't make Flashpoint. Do it later. It's like DC's just run by a bunch of monkeys or squids with keyboards in front of them. As I'm thinking about that analogy, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how, but that analogy made sense to me. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more Broken Rants. I'll have another one for you guys soon. And with that said, peace out.